Same procedure as every year. We have a new iPhone, the 7 and 7 Plus. In this video we compare those to the predecessors. I have first test results for you. I will show you a little bit about iOS 10 and the new things, but let me first get the 6S Plus, the predecessor, to show you there has not much changed in size, in design, and especially in screen sizes like this one here. So you could have called it 6SS or something. But we have new colors, the black ones, you might have heard of it. And we have the two versions here. This is the matte one on the bigger, on the Plus, and the glossy one on the 7 here on the left side. So fingerprints, almost nothing here on the matte one, but of course on the glossy one, like we know that from other phones with glass surface on the backside, you see all the fingerprints here. But let's come to the specifications and start especially with the things that have been the same, and that's especially the screen and size and resolution. Once more, 4.7 inch, 119 millimeters, 750 by 1335 pixels, and here it's almost 5.5 inch, 139 millimeters, full HD, meaning 1080 by 1920 pixels. So same density like on the predecessors, same brightness in the sun, 600. If you're outside the sun, not so bright, then you have up to 500 nits. So that's exactly the same here. And you have, of course, already had NFC and Wi-Fi SC and fingerprint sensors. So this is the same. But let's come to the things that are not the same. Okay, you have 4G now with 450 instead of 300 megabits per second, but this is just a minor difference. The bigger one is the camera on the backside. You see here we have the double lens, at least on the big one, on the Plus. It's just a classic lens here, but at least it's now optical image stabilizer. The resolution of 12.2 megapixels is the same like on the predecessors, but now finally, especially in low light conditions, I guess we will get better photos, more stable videos. We'll have that in the final review, of course. Like always, as text on my website, you can click on the icon, by the way, mobiwatch.net. We'll come into this in about a week. Yeah, the special thing here is the double lens on this one, because you have one with a smaller viewing angle and one with a bigger, and that makes it possible that you have a 2 times optical zoom now, plus 5 times digital, makes up to 10 times magnification. I show you in the app in a second, but let me first start with or stick with the specifications, because that lens here on the back side, that LED double tone, like on the predecessor, of course, but Apple told us this is double the brightness, and that's really true. I measured here 103 lux, and in the big one 93, and that's compared to 48 and 46 of the predecessors. Indeed, double the brightness of the LED. That's true. On the front, there's none, unfortunately, because that would be way better in my opinion, because just the display with a wide display illuminating for selfies, just bringing 3 and 4 lux just for comparison. So this is almost better than nothing, okay, but not really bright. So well, not the big one. And especially you have now the resolution here of 7 megapixels instead of 5, and video is now in full HD instead of 720p. Nice. And here you see the user interface, of course, like we know that from Apple. Like always, it's exactly the same. What has changed is that you have this 1 times here, and if you turn your thumb, then you get up to 10 times. But I hope you can see already the grain here in the picture with that. So let's go here. So you see already the problem. So that what I would have preferred, that you will get a hold at 2.0, because up to this point here, there's no quality loss because it's optical zoom, and only if you go further, then you have that quality loss because you're getting into the digital zoom area. So I would prefer here, maybe next iOS version will have that, to have a little hold here at 2.0, and only if you get over it willingly, then you will come into this range here. Same, by the way, on video. That's working even on if you record a video like this one here, you can nevertheless go while recording here up to 6 times. Same procedure up to 2 times. It's optical, and the rest is then digital, meaning quality loss. So the rest exactly the same. You will have a new mode here coming with iOS 10.1. I do not have that, giving that bouquet effect called portrait mode, meaning you can adjust the background or the front and what's sharp and what not. We know that from other manufacturers, but now this will come with the next update, or more than the next, I do not know, iOS 10.1, then this feature will come. Yeah, then we have, of course, a new processor that's now called the A10 Fusion, meaning you have 4 cores instead of 2 and 2.34 gigahertz instead of 1.85. And especially on the big one, this is 2 GB, but first time 3 GB RAM, working memory. And with that coming to in the overall ranking of more than 50 values, I gather from 15 of the most well-known benchmarks, here we are 260% above the average, meaning more than 3 times quicker than the average. This one is 210 above the average, and that's compared to the predecessors, 137, 121, still double the performance of the average, but nevertheless, this is of course way more from the processor performance here on this one. Might be a reason to change, like the camera, for example. Yeah, then coming to the runtime. And this one is still, of course, built fixed in 1960, 2900 milliamps, a little bit more than the predecessors, but we have the stronger processor here. So runtime test 556 minutes, that's 13% above the average compared to 14 on the predecessor. So exactly the same level, the same here, OnePlus. We have 653 minutes, that's 33% above the average. The predecessor, 34% above the average. So that's even if you have the stronger processor, you have the same runtimes like on the 6S generation. So you have already seen a little bit about iOS here, that you now have these 2 pages here. I'm not quite sure if this is really a good decision, because you're always getting to the same screen you left on the last time here. So you have to be a little bit careful if you want to range brightness or the speaker, or let's say music loudness. You have to watch what you're doing here a little bit. Same over here. You have notifications, and you have these sides here, and that's, by the way, the same one you can get after just one click in the lock screens here, or to the right, or movement to the left from the right. You can start the camera here. And from out of the box, you have this feature here that you have to tap twice. So first is waking up your phone, and then the second one is unlocking the screen. But there is something you can do against this, because I do not find that very clever. You can go here into settings, accessibility, and where is home button here exactly. So if you arrange this one to on, because it's not coming with the on out of the box, so you can do it like this one. So you have to tap once, but just no, this is not the finger I scanned in, so I have to take this one here. And of course it's working in one, just you have to tap. So without tapping, the screen will stay off. So just click once, and then you will be unlocked here. And by the way, this is not any longer a mechanical button, the home button here. This is now capacitive, like the complete touch screen here. For good reason, because now you can have measure the how how strong, how powerful do I touch it? Like on the screen here, so with these, you know that force touch things, so you can tap once, tap harder, you know this one. So you can do the very same now here with the home button on this one. But nevertheless, you have the feeling as if it's a mechanical button. You have that tactical feedback, exactly the same like here on the screen. If you're doing this a little, so that's now the same feeling here. So a little bit weird on the start, but you get used to it. Yeah, iOS, we have talked about it. Now you have a completely new music app here. That's, first of all, radio, of course. I find it way more intuitive and you have a better overview, but also in your library, or if you want to edit here, for example, this is a little bit more now. I like it more than the predecessors because this one was so crowded and crazy, and also how it's done now. I like it more than on the iOS 9 version. These are things. Then you might have heard, of course, that you have a new Messages apps. This is not really new concerning the interface, but things you can do with it. First of all, you might have heard of that you will have now emojis. Well, if you need it, okay, I would have preferred, to be precise, to have a swipe kind of text input here, but at least you can install afterwards here, but this one would be the thing. What I cannot demonstrate here at the moment is if you get messages, you can watch photos and videos in it, rate it right here in the messages. But what you have to have in mind, this is working because it's not SMS or meaning text message or MMS, but just a messenger like WhatsApp or Facebook. So you need the same app on the other side. So this is available for iOS only. So it's working only if the receiver has an Apple device also. And that's, of course, can think about it what you want to. I don't find it very surprisingly for Apple. Let me call it like this, that it's just working within the universe of Apple. So this is the first overview here. And you know the prices, I guess, of course, starting $759 here for now, finally 32 gigabyte instead of 16. That was too less because it was left net about 10 without any possibility, like always, had no micro SD slot or something. So $749, that's $20 more than the predecessor for 32 instead of 16 gigabyte. That's okay. And here we are $50 more, starting now with $899. Prices in Europe, including tax, like always, but may vary depending on your country, of course. And this is coming up to 1,119 euro. Wow, 979. So you really have to pay a lot for this, but you get a strong, powerful processor, of course, and an Apple phone. If you at least want to. Runtimes are okay and good, like on the predecessors, and the camera we have to see. One last thing I wanted to show you is concerning the stability, because that's also the same like on the predecessors, but in case you do not know, here on the small one, it's stable, it's not creaking and cracking, and I do the Torden test here, and you do not have any black or white dots on the screen where the glass is pressing down onto the panel that might damage pixels during the time. And here on, let me go to a white background like this one here. Here on the bigger one, you have a little bit more movement. You hear a little creaking and cracking. At least I hope so in the background here. And if you watch carefully, there are some points here where the glass is pressing down. So it's not a problem, I'd say. But in case you're one of these guys, having your phone always in the back pocket of your trousers and then sit down with it in the pocket, that could be a little bit problem in time at least. So maybe you then better go for the smaller one that's a little bit more stable. But that was the same on the predecessors, like I told you. The rest of all information is coming, like I said, in the final review as text on my website. Thanks for watching, take care, and bye.